This is your Barbados Today evening news update for Wednesday, August 23rd. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Thanks for joining us. After two fatal shootings in Christchurch in the last 48 hours, some of the island's top law enforcers are this evening assuring residents they don't need to live in fear. Members of the Royal Barbados Police Force have been visiting the communities of Gall Hill, Kinvale and surrounding areas where residents have expressed concern about the gun violence plaguing their communities. It was on Sunday that 40-year-old Owen Lesmore of Water Street, Christchurch, was gunned down in Kinvale, and one day later in the nearby Gall Hill community, Sean Omar Taylor was killed. Divisional Commander of the Southern Division, Senior Superintendent Euclid Thompson, said there will be an increased police presence in the area. He also hinted that the police outposts will be strengthened so that more officers will be visible and accessible to residents.
Well, it's important for us in the circumstances where you have spate of gun violence, crimes being committed in this particular area. We are mindful of our role in the Southern Division to come to the people and to ensure that they understand that we care and that we are going to be about carrying out the law to the best of our ability to bring stability to the area and to make people feel safe in their homes.
Meanwhile, a local Anglican cleric says the current crime rate is disturbing and he wants authorities to fight back by introducing tougher penalties against crime. Reverend Selvin Lowe tells Barbados Today the justice system is way too slow and it's time for criminals, especially those found guilty of gun crimes, to feel the full weight of the law.
It is very disturbing, it's somewhat like frightening people in their homes, innocent people at that, and something of a very serious nature has to be done in order to combat this crime situation. Regards to what you try sometimes may not work, but I think you need to look at the penalties, try to lift the penalties somewhat. The court system, some of these guys, they have this knowledge, or if they do something today, next 7 or 8 years you'll now hear about it in the court system. And then when you now hear it in the court system, there's some lawyer who's going to come forward and say, oh, this has been going on too long, and case dismissed and gone through the door. And they have that kind of feeling that something can be done when these things are prolonged. So I think that there need to be a way in which they can be urgently dealt with.
His comments come one day after fellow cleric Charles Morris slammed the Anglican Church for not getting involved in the fight against rising gun violence. Yesterday, Morris accused the church of losing its voice amid an atmosphere of prevailing fear in the society. However, Reverend Lowe, who leads the All Saints Anglican Church in Ben Hill, St. Peter, firmly disagrees, insisting that the Anglican Church was very active in terms of helping the youth to develop and grow. In news from the law courts, Chefette Restaurants Limited loses its case against former employee Orlando Harris. In 2015, the Employment Rights Tribunal ruled that Chefette had unfairly dismissed the former assistant manager back in January 2014 and awarded him $106,630 in damages. Chefette, however, challenged the matter in the Court of Appeal, which today upheld the decision of the tribunal, but lowered Harris's compensation to just over $95,000 since he had already received payment in lieu of notice. Harris's attorney Edmund Hinkson told reporters the ruling is a landmark decision. He says it sends a clear signal to employers that their employees have rights which must be respected.
Well, the Employment Rights Act, of course, was in offing for a very long time. Before it became the law of Barbados, and clearly we have evolved in terms of our system. This is now 2017, where what the act would have been passed just before 50th anniversary. I mean, employees have rights, and we know that. We have strong trade union movement. So it is a warning to employers that you know, employees are not just here today, they are gone tomorrow, that you have to give them full natural justice. You have to inform them of reasons in writing. If you want to discipline them in any way, you have to give them an opportunity to respond to those written reasons. You have to give them a full opportunity to be heard. In other words, not any sham or jungle court where their rights are being trampled.
Barbadians are saving more but are having trouble clearing their debts. That's according to the president of the Board of Directors of the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited, Raphael Holder. As the credit union opened a spanking new branch at Mile and a Quarter in St. Peter today, Holder told Barbados Today while business across the board is booming despite the current economic challenges, delinquency is a major concern for the institution. He, however, assured the credit union is on top of the situation since more citizens are upfront about their ability to repay their debts.
Well, right now, in as much as delinquency is a factor, people are also saving and being more cautious with their money. They are making some investments. I guess they're waiting to see how they ride over the economic period or the volatility that's going on at this point in time. So we're finding that our deposits are going up at this point.
In sports now, the Barbados Tridents are on their home leg of the Hero Caribbean Premier League 2017. Currently, the Tridents sit in 5th position on the table with 4 points from 6 matches. Ahead of their first home game against the Guyana Amazon Warriors on August 29 at Kensington Oval, assistant coach Vesbert Drake says his team must better their previous performances in both the batting and bowling department.
We've got to improve in all departments. Bowling-wise, we haven't been bowling in the power play other than being able to control the opposition. That's the area that also that we're going to be spending a lot more time doing a lot of target work, target practice, so we can, you know, gauge where we at leading up to the next game.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Welcome to CARFESTA 13. As a Mera Caribbean affiliate, we at the Barbados Light and Power Company strive to live and work injury-free. We encourage you to do the same. Here's a tip for you. Be aware of your surroundings, including all emergency exits and muster points. If you feel uncomfortable in a situation, seek assistance from the nearest security or police officer. From all of us at Barbados Light and Power Company Limited, we wish you a safe, enjoyable and incident-free CARFESTA 13.
CARFESTA 13 Barbados.
To the region now, Venezuela's dismissed chief prosecutor says she has proof of corruption within the top leadership, including evidence against President Nicolás Maduro. Luisa Ortega Diaz also accused 2 party leaders and the new prosecutor. Ortega, who fled Venezuela last week after she was sacked and her husband charged with extortion, says her life is still in danger. She faces charges of misconduct amid allegations that she ignored corruption cases sent to her while in office. The ex-prosecutor's latest comments came at a press conference in the Brazilian capital, where she alleged that President Maduro had been involved in a bribery scheme centered on a Brazilian construction giant. On the international scene, a strong typhoon struck the coast of China on Wednesday, bringing massive winds and flooding to the cities of Macau and Hong Kong. 3 people were killed when the typhoon hit, including a 62-year-old man who died in a fall, a 45-year-old man who was hit and killed by a car, and a wall crashed into a 30-year-old man. The storm, which made landfall this morning, caused widespread outages throughout the country.
It's one of the more concerning storms we've seen in at least a half a decade here, Rosemary. I want to show you some video coming out of this region as well, kind of the time-lapse perspective, if we have it for you. It shows exactly what we're dealing with across Victoria Harbour. Tremendous building of this storm in the past 24 hours that brought these thunderstorms across this region. Of course, dangerous winds as well to go along with it, but the images look as such. As you take a look at the harbour, you have images as this across the city, home to over 6 million people when you consider the metro population. And this storm system incredibly was just a mid-grade tropical storm this time yesterday. So it goes from that within 24 hours to almost doubling its speed, becoming a severe typhoon, and winds peaking out roughly around 175 kilometers per hour. So borderline Category 3 equivalent from a tropical storm inside of one day. In fact, the Hong Kong Observatory issued a rare Signal 10. What this indicates to us is that folks across the city of Hong Kong urged to stay indoors, and also expecting winds to exceed 118 kilometers per hour for several hours in a row, potentially gusting over 220 kilometers per hour. Only 3 times in the past 2 decades have we had a storm with this threshold. And again, all of this happening within the last 24 hours.
And that's news, but there's more on our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals and screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And don't forget, Mix 96.9 FM, where you can get all the very latest. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.